Well, May is Healthy Vision Month, and we all know it's important to take care of our eyes. But what are we doing to take care of the vision we have for our own future? Our first guest is an attorney turned wealth expert and creator of the Masterclass Vision that helps individuals level up in their personal and professional lives. She wants to share 3 valuable tips for mapping out your life vision.
Okay, we welcome Shamina Taylor to Virginia this morning again. We spoke a moment ago, and we've talked about this vision that everybody, I know so many people that said, well, I had everything all planned out. And then life happened. So you've got it nailed down to 3 tips. What are we going to start with number 1? What is the number 1 tip, Shamina?
You've got to take those rose-colored glasses off. You've got to take them off. You've got to be willing to look at the truth of where you are. And, you've got to get your head out of the sand. You've got to be brave enough to see, where am I now and where do I want to go and what's in between to bridge that gap. And, I think people, they don't like to see where they are sometimes, but in order to see where you're going, you have to know where you are. And for me, I always ask myself, what's next? And then when I can decide what's next, it excites me. And then I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. I already know this is going to happen. It's there for me.
So that is great insight. Take off those rose-colored glasses so you see where you are right now, warts and all, because we can start trying to work on those to pave the way for what's next.
Yeah, there's a launch pad there, and so you got to realize that. Okay.
Number 2, Shamina.
Okay, you've got to test your focus. What are you looking at? What are you seeing every day? What's around you? We choose to see what we want to see. So are we looking for the good in the day, or are we looking for what's going wrong? And for example, if someone's trying to have a baby, they're going to notice pregnant women everywhere, right? You start noticing these things. Or if you're trying to quit smoking, you're going to notice somebody who's lighting up. And it's like, what are you focusing on? What are you actually putting your attention towards? Because I believe what we put our attention towards grows, and that's what we actually create in our lives. So where is your focus going?
Yeah, so if you focus on the negative, you're going to probably get negative results if you go too far one way and or the other, right?
Well, yeah, and one of my tips for that is basically, we got to be conscious of what we're consuming. So if you know what you want exists out there, believe it, and then maybe stop scrolling on social media so much, and then Google what you're looking for right now on success stories, and those success stories are going to actually help implant the belief that that is out there, and it's going to basically bring your focus in. For the first one, I forgot to mention though, when you're having these things in your life that you're doing an assessment on, I always say take the 3 key areas of your life: your finance, your relationships, and your health. And then I would mark them from 1 to 10 of happiness. Where are you on them? And if you're not at a 10 yet, create next steps of where you can go to create those 10s in your life. Because I do believe how you do one thing is how you do many things.
That great insight, Shamina. It gives you a tangible way of beginning to maybe take those rose-colored glasses off and start physically mapping some perspective. Folks like to, there's a lot of comfort in, like the horses wear, those blinders, right? Just walking through and seeing what's the first step to taking the blinders off, testing that focus? Are there tiny steps to take?
The first step that I would be, well, like I said in the beginning, you have to see where you are and see where you want to go. So if you measure where you are showing up in these areas of your life, then you can see, am I at a 10 or am I at a 3, and where do I want to be? Now, for the last thing that I wanted to talk about, your third tip was to trust hindsight is 20/20. A lot of the times, we go through many difficult moments in our life. We get these amazing lessons. So are you using the past as an excuse, or are you using it as a place to propel you? There's so many things that we have experienced that we are, we don't look at as being positive, but there's so much wisdom that comes out of our past experiences. And we've gotten through so much, we're going to get through so much more. And a lot of people are sometimes ashamed of what's happened in the past, or they're like, I failed. But those are beautiful places for lessons and growth. And I absolutely like looking back to see how far I've come, because then I can see, okay, where can I go next?
Yeah, we've all overcome things. And, you know, I think we make a mistake sometimes, say, well, that person had it so easy, or everything was given to them. Everybody has a challenge, no matter what, and we have to overcome them. Obviously, some of them are bigger than others, but everybody has a history. And so if you can use that positively, you're on the right path.
Yeah, one of my tips is to write out everything that you've overcome, like all the challenges you've gone through. When you start listing them, you're like, wow, I've been through a lot. And it starts to remind yourself that whatever you're going through in this moment, you will get through. So I usually take that challenge list, and I would suggest that you put it in your notes, in your phone. So anytime that you're faced with going to that next step, because I said in the beginning, your vision will always change and you get challenged to that next level of you, that next level step. But when you can see that, wait, when I went after something before in my past, I actually succeeded, even though it was a little bit difficult. So then you can now remind yourself, I can get through these things to get to the next level, or where this vision is taking me. Where do I want to go? We forget how amazing we are. We forget that we've come through so many things in our lives, and we only look at where we are right now in this moment.
And we've used that phrase for our entire lifetimes of hindsight is 2020. But if we take and look at hindsight of 2020, which many of us don't,
wow,
right? That's a deep dive, but
that's a different story altogether.
Top of everybody's list in terms of evidence list. Shamina, thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you for having me. I hope that everybody is out there and really actively looking for their vision in life, because it's there for you.
Giving us some great ways to get started, for sure. For more information on this conversation and Shamina's Vision Masterclass, we'll post a link on our website by early this afternoon.